Welcome to Ask and Learn.
So we have before and after data for 9 communities. Our sample is 9, and we're comparing before and after data. So X1s are our after data. Our X2s are the before data, and our X difference is the difference, let's see here, before and after, so we'll say X2 minus X1, or X1 minus X2. Let's see here, X1 minus X2, and then if we're looking to see if the incidence declined, then the after values would be smaller. If it declines, so that means that this would be less than 0 if it declines, because you're subtracting the larger from the smaller. So if it declines. Okay, so our null hypothesis is that there is no difference, so the mean difference is 0, and the alternative is we're checking if the incidence declines, so then the mean difference would be less than 0. And the null hypothesis is the opposite of that, then, so greater than or equal to 0. So these are your hypotheses. And then for part B, we want to find the test statistic. Well, we have a small sample size, so we'll use a t. Our degrees of freedom will be n minus 1, so that is 8. Our t is going to be our x bar difference minus the null hypothesis difference, which is 0, divided by, let's see here, the standard deviation of the difference divided by the square root of n. So this is going to be, let's see here, if you process your data, you should get x bar difference is equal to, let's see here, negative 3.222, and SD is going to be 4.6577. So the test statistic then is going to be negative 3.2222 over 4.6577 divided by the square root of 9, and that is equal to negative 3.222 divided by 4.6577, and that is equal to negative 2.075. So our test statistic is this right here. We run around to 2 decimal places, so our t is equal to negative 2.08 is our test statistic. And then for part C, let's see here. Say the critical value for alpha is 0.05. Well, we had 8 degrees of freedom. We're doing a one-sided test, so 0.05 in the tail and 8 degrees of freedom. It is going to give us a critical value of 8 degrees freedom, 5%, 1.86. And since we're doing a negative test, we want our negative critical value, so negative 1.86. And then for D, we want a p-value. Well, the p-value is the probability that T with 8 degrees of freedom is less than or equal to negative 2.08. And that is equal to, let's see, I have a T distribution with 8 degrees of freedom. I have a T value of negative 2.08. And I want my left tail. The p-value is 0.03556. And then our conclusion is, since the p-value is less than alpha, or since T is smaller than our critical value, in the left tail, we reject the null hypothesis. There is sufficient evidence to conclude the number of graffiti incidents has decreased. So there is sufficient evidence to conclude that it indeed decreased.